All right, Jeff. So this new announcement from David Eby regarding rental restrictions in British Columbia, Canada. Fill me in, Jeff.
Let's get right to the good.
Let's do it.
Right? More inventory, which is what everybody was complaining about before, is there's no inventory out there, which caused a panic because there's nothing out there, there's nothing to buy. So what do we do with the shortage of supply, which created more pricing because it's basic economics again. So one of the good things for buyers is that more inventory will be out there, so you have more choices. So if you were looking in a particular area and there was 4, 5, 6 projects, 4, 5, 6 complexes that you really want to get into, but unfortunately 3 out of the 4 were rental restricted and did not allow rentals, or some of them had rental restrictions, which only allowed a few of them. It opened it up now. So now you can actually look at more properties, which leads me to my next point for buyers. With more inventory could possibly mean lower prices. That was our problem that we were having right now. No inventory. So sellers were able to say, hey, well, there's nothing else out there, so we're going to charge what we want to charge. Now, if there's more supply, buyers have more options. They can actually have the power to say, oh, well, you know what? Forget this place. I'll go to that place. And so they have more options. So that's the second point now, is that it can actually mean lower prices.
Okay, thank you for covering that. How about the bad things? The bad things that could possibly arise.
The bad things. Let's get to the bad things now. Can you stop looking at my notes?
Sorry.
All right. So the bad things. I know I just said lower prices. I just said that. I know I just said that. But that's from a buyer's point of view. From a seller's point of view, lower prices aren't the best thing. Obviously, you bought it and you want to make more money on it. But now, obviously, with more inventory out there, you are not such a commodity anymore. You do not have this place where it was only owners, so you didn't have to worry about anything. You know, you didn't have to worry about, you don't know the person to the left, you don't know the person to the right. It was restricted to a certain type of ownership, which leads me to the second point of the bad is, and Rick, I know you're going to laugh about this. I know you're going to, the unwanted, unknown neighbor.
In Surrey, that could be an issue. Never know. Your neighbor might be. Could be a possible. Could be a. We don't know. You know.
I'm going to take a pause at the. Anyways, right? Yes. Unwanted neighbors could be a very downturn, which could also lead to lower prices. Because if you don't know who's there, they're causing a lot of problems, and you don't get along with them. They're not the right type of community that you had before, and now you don't know. That could be a problem. That could be a possible issue.
Could be a big issue.
Yes.
You can't just get up and move that.
I'm trying to downplay it, but yeah, it could be a very, very big issue.
As I've seen, I know about.
As you've seen.
Well,
wait. As you've seen, how many of these unwanted neighbors have you seen?
Well, I know I talked about it on our previous podcast about a story,
when I was here.
Personal story. Yeah, I'd never filled you guys in on the whole story, but I'll give you guys a little bit of an insight. All right.
We're trying to keep this rated, by the way.
Well, this is a true story, okay, and it's based on Surrey.
That doesn't make it better.
Neighboring property in an area, the new homeowners have just taken over a house, all right? They just bought this really nice house in Surrey, and they rented it out to, well, basically they ended up to be some criminals because they ended up holding them hostage in their house that they just bought, all right? We were wondering why cops kept coming to this property every week, like almost on a second daily basis, right? And so can you imagine being a new homeowner? You just bought this gorgeous house and now you're being held hostage by the tenants you have in the house, and you're scared to death to be even living in your own house, and you just moved in. You haven't even moved in for like a month.
We don't want to scare anybody from buying property in the Lower Mainland, by the way.
Hey, I had to share that story because I promised you guys I would on an older episode, right? So, but that's a real story, right? And I was even shocked as well but that has to do with just a rental topic. But anyways, right, about the Strata thing. How many times have I gone on a showing with you and we've showed clients properties after properties after properties, right? And turns out they love everything about the property, but then it turns out Strata does not allow rentals, right?
Yeah.
How many times does that happen? And so I think that like with this new implementation coming in, like it's going to be a really good thing for a lot of people.
Well, it can. It's all on the eye of the beholder. Right, so we don't know. There's positives for both sides, there's negatives for both sides type of thing as well.
Yeah, true. Say it every episode, guys. Every episode, all right? If you're thinking about relocating to British Columbia, especially the Fraser Valley area and Greater Vancouver area, the number will be on the screen. It's also down below in the rolling text there. Any which way you need to get a hold of us, definitely give us a call. We love helping you guys move, especially around in British Columbia, all right? And the free JC Homes hoodie, as you see, I've squeezed into it, all right? Finally squeezed into it.
It's snug.
It's a snug fit, all right?
Snug.
But it's great, and it fits great, and it doesn't shrink if you wash it, supposedly, all right? But you guys be the judge. And if you want a free one, make sure to subscribe and drop the comments. I have subscribed to this channel, and I will send you out a free, absolutely free hoodie. Wouldn't you want a free hoodie for Christmas? Christmas is coming up, all right? Get the new free JC Homes hoodie, all right? And watch out for the JC Homes Tesla rolling through, all right, with the QR code. If you guys want to enter for your chance to win, we're going to be giving some more details about the contest soon, but make sure you guys scan the QR code on the vehicle if you see it rolling around in Surrey or anywhere in the Lower Mainland. All right? Didn't tell you about that, but I thought I'd drop it in.
Yeah, thank you, by the way.
And it's black. So you guys know. Now, every episode I almost do it, but I wanted to know, honestly, Jeff, there's got to be some loopholes with this thing, right? There's got to be some criminals out there or potential criminals who possibly want to take advantage of this.
Yes, there possibly can be another negative here. The rental aspect, the renting already for landlords is an issue sometimes when you have a problem tenant. The tenancy board already, they're backed up with complaints and applications and just going through arbitration. What will this do for that? I mean, if you have so much more open and now you can rent these all out, could this put more of a backlog on things? We don't know. Another major thing here, Rick, and I don't think anyone's actually really talked about this yet, so I'll be happy if we were the first one to talk about it. It's scams, actually, where when people go on Craigslist, they say this is for rent, this is for rent, this is for rent, and they take the deposit. Can that go on the rise? Do we have the enforcement to help protect that? So that's one thing. But another thing here is talking about just Strata itself with absentee owners. Now, if a complex has 100 units, and now everything's allowed to be rented out. So let's just say you have 40 owners and now 60 absentee, which will probably not be the case. But you have 60. When it comes down to your AGM, voting, making bylaw, making changes, the absentee owners won't be there, so you have only a selective few. That's one aspect. The other aspect is the property itself and the curb appeal and actually just taking care of it. Maybe the tenants won't take care of it. Maybe they damage the property. They won't treat it as their home. So which can actually lead to more cost incurring for the owners, for special levies, for repair damage, all these kind of things. So those are another aspect that no one's really looked into. There's pluses and there's minuses. But let me end off my point here with saying a plus point for families. There are restrictions right now that sometimes limit the age, saying, plus 19 over. So if you're a couple, you've been there for 2 years, and you decide to have a child, well, unfortunately, you now have to move out because there's a 19 plus age restriction there. Someone's like, okay, you have a kid? Great, fantastic, get out. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know what I mean? And
crazy.
so that actually opens up the option and the comfortability to stay there longer, to have a child there, to grow there.
What if the neighbor hates kids? What if he's like, I don't want this baby crying all the time. I'm trying to have my glass of wine and watching my Netflix. Then I got this kid in the neighboring property just crying away.
Well, then maybe you should have looked at that when you bought the property to see the soundproofing behind between all the walls and everything. Because you could have a loud neighbor that plays music that's older. You could have one of your people of the night friends there that are over the age doing the same thing. What's it got to do with kids? What do you get? Are you against kids?
Now, I know you just touched on the last points there, right? But just before we end off this video, I wanted to maybe ask you about, in the future, do you think that they could be adding some more stuff to this, to other strata rules that they might be banning or whatnot, or just putting more restrictions on, or opening things up more? Maybe pets, maybe smoking. I don't know. But that.
Well, smoking. I can see them getting more stricter on smoking. Mm-hmm. But who knows about pets? I mean, there's restrictions already in place that allow pets, but with restrictions. So it's hard to say, but can this be a certain type of precedent saying that, well, I have a dog and I've had it for 15 years, and because there's size restrictions. When sometimes you get into a building that says you're allowed pets with restriction, but the restriction could be up to a certain size. So you had this puppy, and now, let's say the restriction is 16 inches from the paw to the shoulder. But you have this puppy, and you're never going to think that way, but you've been living there for a long, long, long time, but it grew, and now it's 18 inches, so now you have to move out because of that? I mean, could there be? I don't know. But
that's if somebody notices, right?
Well,
that's if.
But that's a plausibility.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, who knows? Yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. All right. That's episode 44 of the British Columbia Real Estate Podcast. And I said it last time as well. Don't forget to join the BC Real Estate Podcast TikTok channel. We'll be doing some more content on there for you guys. As you guys, by the time this video is out, you should see some more videos on there. All right. A lot more content coming your way with other realtors, other mortgage brokers. It's all coming. Be patient, guys. All right. Jeff Chata, JC Hobbs, Ricky J. We're signing out on this episode, and we'll catch you guys next week for another amazing episode of the BC Real Estate Podcast. See you guys later.